Sue, for 2 years you were president of the Landscape Institute, and over that period you led the Institute to focus on water and flooding. Over that period, have you seen a change in the way that government, suppliers and indeed other people within the industry treat water and flooding?
That's a really interesting question, Paul, because when we started on this journey, as president 2.5 years ago, we thought we were heading in a certain direction with government. We'd got the Floods and Water Management Act, and we were just then going through all the procedures as to how we would get the final bits in place to actually bring this new system in that was really going to make such a difference to the way that we addressed water management in our towns and cities. And of course, having thought that's where we were going, perhaps it's when I stopped being president, November last year, we then find DCLG muscling in on the Act and saying, let's consult about having a new system. Let's not make it mandatory, which is what we need it to be, to make sure it happens everywhere. Let's think about, shall we just make it advisory, make it more simple through the planning system. So we know that at the end of that consultation, 71% of people thought that was a bad idea, but we're pressing on regardless. So now we are not going to have in place a system that will be anywhere near as robust as what we've been promised.
So how would you summarise the problem with the legislation as it is now?
A muddle, a complete and utter muddle. And I don't think, well, I know that all of those people who were involved in helping to shape the enabling legislation that was being put together for the system as it was, have not been consulted at all about what's happening. So we were promised that there would be new robust planning guidance. I understand it's minimal or non-existent. We were promised that there would be money to upskill the professions and the lead local flood authorities. Again, it's a nod, almost none, and to upskill the planning authorities themselves. Again, token gesture-ish, if at all. So we're going to set on this new course from the 5th of April. Who knows what's going to come in there? We're all waiting to hear in the next few weeks, but it's going to be a massive learning curve. I mean, planners themselves don't think I'm sure they're horrified at the thought that they're going to actually have to assess drainage schemes. They're not engineers. How are they going to do that? And do those authorities, which are cash strapped, have they got the money to actually pay for the advice to assist them? How much can the lead local flood authorities help them? So very, very difficult, and it's going to take a long time to bed down, and it is never going to achieve what we could have achieved.
What would be your message for a new government?
Reconsider. And I think that you would find all of our built environment institutions would absolutely stand behind me saying that, because we know when we've consulted with all of those institutions that they agree that this is not the way that it should go. It is not going to deliver what we need, because the problem that we've got of flooding is big, and we need big, robust systems that really make us to address it properly.
You and your colleagues at Illman Young have just produced a video, and you're wearing a rather splendid badge.
We have indeed.
Do you want to just say a word about what's in your video?
Yeah, well, ours is called Let's Get Nibbling, so YouTube, just go and look for it. And really, it's my passion about retrofitting, because we know that actually, new suds, it's important, we should be doing it. But we've got such a big problem. We really do need to address retrofitting in our towns and cities all the time, everywhere. But the way that we're going to have to do it is to nibble at the problem so that incrementally we make change. And the point is, every time we make a small change, we can make a small improvement. And it's to enable people, whether they're householders, whether they're professionals, whether they're head teachers, to see that they too can contribute, and in doing so make nicer, more pleasant places and spaces that are more diverse for people to live, work and play. So it's a bit of a campaign, it's a bit of fun, it's not serious, but actually the key messages about this are all there.
Great, thank you very much.